Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a Grand Solar Minimum update on Saturday, March 24th at 10:52 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at Shinmodake erupting in the top right corner just about 12 hours ago. This is a massive eruption. Has not been picked up on the mainstream and maybe not at all. But Volcano Watch has it live, which is why you're watching it live. This is a massive eruption. And we're 2 minutes in and it's still going up here, folks. We're looking at least 3,000 meters, 3 kilometers here from the surface. And it keeps going up and up. So I've been parsing this for 30 minutes. It's a 17-minute eruption. Come take a look at it over here at Volcano Watch. I'll leave you links. Cosmic ray flux is on the increase. The muons in the subsurface are being heated. Volcanoes are erupting worldwide increasingly. Record-breaking weekend snow keeps spring at bay in North Iowa. This is a grand solar minimum boom for Iowa. They've been lacking snow and they got some. Boom! That is really snow in spring in Iowa. Mason City residents dig out after more than 17 inches of snow fell Saturday. Plenty of snow, near blizzard-like conditions, as we predicted Saturday, brought winter back to North Iowa. Wet, heavy snow blanketed the area with total snows reaching 18 inches in some areas. As of 4:45 p.m. in Mason City, 17.5 inches of snow had fallen, which is a record. The heaviest region of snow fell Saturday. These are records for the most snow falling for the entire region ever. Not just in spring, ever. It's crazy what happened here. As predicted, today's winter storm dumped twice as much snow on Indianapolis as expected. Heads up, look at this guy. Whew. The narrow but intense weather system dumped more than 10 inches of snow in Indianapolis, putting the first Saturday of spring in the books as one of the latest and most severe winter storms on record. The heavy and sticky snow at times caused dangerous driving conditions, and cars filled into the city for high school basketball games in protest to gun violence. I don't know. Why did they put that in there? Just to take your mind off of the spring snow, folks. Nothing to see here. Winter storm Uma, and we're not talking Thurman, brought heavy wet snow from the Midwest to the Appalachians. 8 states buried. Uma spread a 2-day narrow swath of heavy snow across parts of the Midwest. The band of snow stretched from the Dakotas. No, it didn't. It started in Canada. We just don't live there, so they don't talk about Saskatchewan. It stretched from Saskatchewan to the Ohio Valley and southern Appalachians, over 3,500 miles long. A foot or more snow was reported in parts of Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. Mason City, Iowa saw 17.5 inches of snow, 13.5 inches piled up in Lucan, Minnesota. Additional snowfall totals can be found at the bottom of this article, which I'll leave you links to. Indianapolis measured 10.2 on March 24th, making it the heaviest calendar day snowfall since 2014 ever, January 5th, when 11.4 inches accumulated. Uma's snow was also a record snowfall for the date and the second highest calendar day total for the month of March. Heads up. Whew. Near blizzard conditions were reported in Woodford and northern Peoria counties in Illinois. There was also numerous reports of thunder snow for the 400th time in the last 30 days, including in Plainfield, Iowa, Dickinson County, Iowa, and near Lexington, Kentucky. Police in Davenport responded to 25 snow-related vehicle accidents as heavy snow slickened the roads in the Quad Cities. 12 inches in Dana, 8 inches in Peoria, 10.5 in Claremont, Indiana, 10.2 in Indianapolis, 17.5 near Mason City, Iowa, 9 in Davenport, Quad Cities. Kentucky saw 7 inches in Hilda. Minnesota saw 14 inches in Emmons. North Carolina had 4.4 inches near Fleetwood, 3.6 in Boone. North Dakota saw 8 inches in Minot and Pick City. Ohio had 3.6 near Cheviot. South Dakota, 8.5 near Aurora. Tennessee, 3 inches near Trade. Whew. Virginia had 10 inches near the Meadows. 9.3 in Bluefield. West Virginia saw 10 inches in Lerona and Princeton. Oh, Jesus. Happy spring. The Easter Bunny is buried. This is shots from some of our viewers from Indiana, right out the front porch. Thank you, guys. Here's a shot from Chris Boswell, I-55 in central Illinois at 5 p.m. They're not planting in Iowa. Let's look at the follow-ups. Winter storm warnings and watches in effect all the way down south here. We got North Carolina with most of the warnings. Western Virginia and southern West Virginia still in the warning area. Heavy gale warnings here in southeastern Colorado. Almost all of New Mexico. Heads up. Do not be flicking your cigarette butts out the window. Flood watches up here for Montana. Heavy snows in northern Sierra still coming in on the coast here. The combination of very dry humidity and gusty winds will likely produce critical fire weather conditions over portions of the southern plains and desert southwest into Monday. A slow moving storm system could bring a threat for severe weather, heavy rainfall, and flooding over portions of the plains and the lower Mississippi Valley early to midweek. Heads up. I'll leave you links to the Weather Ready Nation map and all the warnings. You just click on them. It's so interactive. Now, this spring storm wreaks havoc across southern Saskatchewan, not just the U.S. That's a bus that hit a pole. Spring may have arrived on calendar, but Mother Nature is giving Saskatchewan another taste of winter. Snow fell throughout most of Friday in a band right across southern Saskatchewan. Gusting winds, blowing snow, and poor visibility led to travel not being recommended for a number of highways out of Regina, including the entire stretch to Saskatoon. Heads up. It is not over yet, folks. The beast is back. Easter snow warning for the UK as the third cold snap nears. Yes, those are the daffodils, and they are dying. Snow and freezing weather could return to parts of the UK in time for Easter if the beast from the east returns for its third appearance. The Met Office said a white Easter in Scotland and the east coast of England was increasingly likely. I checked the GFS models. Scotland is going to get covered. This is from cold air from Scandinavia, expected to envelop the country from the middle of next week on. So you're going to be hot, and then you're going to be cold. African dust storm turns southern Russia yellow. This is the same dust storm we predicted to wreak havoc. It's not Nibiru. There are not aliens coming. People in Russia woke up and thought it was Armageddon. No, it's just Sahara dust. And when the volcanoes start erupting en masse, I can only imagine what the population will think. It is going to happen shortly. We're watching the uptick. Dust from the African Sahara swept over southern Russia, turning the streets and mountain slopes of Krasnodar hazy yellow. Look at that shot. It's white underneath. We have some amazing footage of a slow slip avalanche in this yellow snow, thanks to Heinrich Butenhuis, our Denmark buddy, who's about to get buried in snow. I'm sorry, Heinrich, but I looked at the GFS models, and your Denmark is about to be buried in a few days. Now, this is coming up from Stott. This is in Russia. Notice the yellow snow. This is today. Here's the yellow snow they're talking about. And the avalanche is white, but it's going to start to move these cars. And wait till you see these idiots. They're all filming. And there's even some guy that's going to show up down here right at the avalanche. Watch him. His hands are in his pockets. Take a note of the guy with the hands in the pockets. This guy is not going to bode well in the future. He's going to be fodder. We're going to find him in this snow front here. Amazing footage. This is in the last 24 hours. This is part of the yellow dust event. You can see the coloration here on the hills. And that just keeps going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. Going and going and going. Look at the yellow snow here. I'll leave you links to the huge avalanche in Russia happening in slow motion yesterday. And you can see the yellow hills. You can see that Sahara dust covering everything. It looks like the dirtiest place on earth. So this is a dust storm, major dust storm that we predicted a week ago, wreaking havoc in Crete and now southern Russia. Let's talk about more predictions that came true. 6.3 magnitude earthquake hits Papua New Guinea. If you were listening last night, you heard me say that the blot echo here, which is not showing up because we have to go to 7 days. We'll pick it up here at 7 days. I believe it was a 4.6. Right off the south of Fiji, happening yesterday at 3:03 UTC at 606 kilometers. 11 hours later, 6.3 in Papua New Guinea, kicking off at the surface at 35.8 kilometers, as predicted. Here is the blot echo. Here is the major quake. This is foretelling this quake here. I know it's a lot to look at, but that's how it goes. I've been looking at this for many years, so it's pretty simple to catch something like this. Maybe 50% of the time you're going to get a major quake above a blot echo like this. And it is a great predictor, and we got a 6.3 in Papua New Guinea. No tsunami threat. No tsunami warning. No other quakes of note, except we have some moderately high activity, 6.3 in the South Indian Ridge here. So it went boom, boom, boom in a circle. Blot echo, 6.3, 6.3. Blot echo, 6.3, 6.3. We had a 5.1 in Afghanistan today, might be shaking nerves, and a 5.2 in Ethiopia just kicking off. 5.1 in Philippines. And that is your quake watch for the day. No more predictions today, but there were eruptions. Fuego, Sakurajima, Kirishima, Sabancaya, Aoba. We saw Sakurajima live. We could just watch a little bit more. We got a little bit more parsed up here so we can see how nice this gets. Really good footage here. You can see it now moving off to the east. Come over and check it out. It's probably going to be active for some time, and maybe there's a secondary eruption. Check out Volcano Watch. Subscribe. Give them a thumbs up. Thank them for the coverage. They do a lot of work over here, recapping and rehashing these. Have we reached peak food? Well, according to Christian Westbrook, Ice Age Farmer, we have. He came out with that idea several weeks ago, and now the mainstream is picking it up. So the mainstream is watching us, guys. The independent probably watched that. We have reached peak food. And shortages loom as global production rates slow. Couple that with crop losses and the weather that we're seeing, and that is a cocktail for famine and global unrest, as we're predicting in the near future. You don't have a lot of time to prepare, so you better be boning up on what's happening. And I'm going to leave you links to Beekeeping for Beginners. You guys, you want to delve into this? We're keeping bees here. We're using techniques unlike the mainstream is suggesting. We are not medicating the bees. We use no oxalic acid. We did not fumigate the bees. There is no medication in our bees. 100% all natural bees, wild bees. We did buy packages, but now the bees are just left to their own resources. We do not do anything. There is no mite count. We don't have any mites out here. We're in a very far rural area. There is no agriculture for hundreds of miles, no pesticide use. Our bees are pristine. If you want to raise bees, I suggest you raise bees in an area like that, or you're going to deal with lots of losses. Lots of our subscribers are telling me about major losses in areas where it got exceptionally cold, the Northeast especially. They're having huge losses up there. Our bees are out by the millions. They came out 2 weeks ago when it got sunny, and they are out in numbers. Extremely healthy colonies in this valley. And our honey is delicious. So bone up on that. And real quick, let me just piss some people off. Chemtrails, what's going on? I'll leave you links to this. I'll tell you, this is from ViewZone, and this is actually an article where they purport to support chemtrails. But in doing so, they break apart their very own theory. Now, there are such things as chemtrails. There is geoengineering. There is weather modification. It's well known. It's happening right here in Pagosa Springs. There are cloud seeding the ski resort and it is paid for by our government. Now, what you're looking at here is a satellite photo taken in 2004 showing aircraft trails over southeastern America. Now, this is a fear-mongering article about chemtrails, and they debunk their own theory. In the photo above, not all of the white lines are chemtrails. Well, hello. There are airports all over here, so clearly who's paying for all this if it was? So they're admitting that in the photo above, not all white lines are chemtrails. Probably most are regular contrails or condensation trails. Yes, they all are. And they're all in the same patterns, so they're all coming from the same airports. These crisscross lines are incoming and outgoing flights. These are takeoff patterns. And it's all the same. Additionally, if you were spraying materials up in the atmosphere here, they wouldn't be landing anywhere near the surface. They would, in fact, be traveling thousands of miles across the globe before they ever reach the ground. So the whole idea of chemtrailing is cockamamie. And it doesn't make any scientific sense. The only thing you would be wanting to do is to put particulates up in the stratosphere, above the atmosphere, where they stayed up there for long periods of time for cosmic ray mitigation. That's not what these are. These are atmospheric contrails because in the last 10 years, the number of flights has gone from 1 million to 8 million flights, an increase of 8 times. And at the same time, cosmic rays have been increasing in our stratosphere, causing more prolonged contrails to scare the shit out of everyone that listens to Dane Wigington and all his fraudsters. First of all, if you're a Dane Wigington fan and you support chemtrails, then that means you support anthropogenic global warming, because that's all he spouts. So stop commenting below my videos about Dan Wigington or you'll be blocked immediately for life. The guy is a fraud and a fearmonger, and he's full of nonsense. These are contrails coming from exhausts of planes carrying humans. They're not spraying you, so take your tinfoil hat off. And they're admitted in this fearmongering article that most of these are contrails. Yeah, they all are. And then they go on to say it just illustrates the severity of the problem. What problem? The problem that millions of people are flying annually? You guys are nuts. You should be worried about the shifting magnetosphere and the waning total solar irradiance of our sun. Here's global air travel increase. In 2009 to 2020, it's going to jump by 10 times. This is the chemtrail increase that all the insane people are watching. It's just more flights while cosmic ray increases. It's an additive effect that's driving everyone insane, and the fearmongers are in force, cashing in on it. They're cashing in on your fear. Stop it. The whole month of April, I'm reaching out to Tony Rango, and we're going to talk about the real science. We'll discuss real geoengineering, what's really happening in the skies, and it is not all chemtrails, guys. All the people that live near major airports that are going on and on about these chemtrails, get real. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing. The last thing you need to be watching is Dane Wigington and Geoengineering Watch. If you know anyone that is, stop talking to them immediately. They're insane.